Hey friends, so welcome to my channel. This is where I just walk and talk about life or whatever's going on. Today I did a set of nails, which was the 4th of July groovy nails, and I was thinking, I sat there for a long time fighting with myself, trying to decide if I was going to redo them or not. Just thought of things like I could have done differently or whatever, and I'm like that to myself all the time. I'll always be like, oh, I could do this better, or should have changed that. I apologize. This road gets a lot of traffic, so when a car comes by, I'll just stop talking or pause. And I finally was like, look, this is ridiculous. You just put in that time and effort to do them. You're not a professional. You don't claim to be. So you're going to just go ahead and upload it, okay? Because if I tell you what, if I try to redo all the ones I get in my head about, I would have no content up. And again, it's something I enjoy doing. It's the fact of I get in my head about if they're good enough, or if, you know, what others may think or see. And really, and that's taken away from what, you know, the reason I do it. So I said, girl, you're just gonna upload it. So I did. Then also, okay, I've already had to pause a lot because again, this road's so busy. So I'll just pause as I can and pick up where I left off. It was already getting late and I needed to finish dinner, and I'm not gonna lie, it just isn't completely finished, but everybody's set for now anyway. So I was like, okay, you know what? You wanted to go for a walk. I had to put it off because we kept having almost daily storms. And then we had went on our little trip to see my in-laws. And so I told myself today I was going to walk. Well, then I got in my head like, oh, well, oh, look at these little flowers. Y'all can't probably see those. And there's some cows over there too. But I said, you wanted to do it. Then I was debating, okay, well, do I go to the park or do I just go to around the neighborhood? So I said, by the time I drive to the park, that's already going to cut me off some time, which is not terribly far, but it's already so late. I said, just pull yourself together, get your stuff on, and let's go. So that's what we're doing. We're just going to walk the neighborhood. I prefer the park, but you know what? It is what it is today. And then hope I don't get myself run over. It's so loud. Good grief. Well, at least we can hear some birds. And when I get off the main, it's a busy road. When I get off of there, hopefully it'll be a bit quieter. I apologize. I put the phone down. I thought I paused it instead of just putting it down, and I realized because it's just too echoey when the cars go by, and it's consistent. So I guess I'll take this chance to go ahead and say, you know, when you're doing nail art, it's not meant to have to be perfect. It's supposed to be fun and entertaining and do something you love. Try not to be hard on yourself. You know, there's going to be good times and bad times, just like anything we do. Okay, I've had to cross the road. But yeah, it's not always going to be exactly all, you know, the way you want it every single time, and that's okay. Enjoy it and have fun. Okay, we're almost to that other road, so hopefully it'll get quieter. But what was I fixing to say? Oh, I hate when I do that, guys, and I do it all the time. I think what I was going to say, if I didn't say it already, was it would have been way too hot coming earlier anyway, but hopefully tomorrow, if we don't get a storm, I can go to the park. So I was thinking, like, when I was planning my nails, I was like, oh my gosh, can't believe we're almost into July. So I knew I needed to get up some 4th of July nails. Got another one I want to do. Got several things that I want to do. And there may be odd ones in there here and there, because there's things that I'll get planned that I just don't get to season-wise. So sure, I'll be fitting in some other things. I'd love to know what you guys have been up to. Anything fun? Also, I've been thinking, I hope that all of you ladies have a good rose in your life, and it's not what some of you may be thinking. What I mean by that is just a good female that you relate to each other and can be honest to each other and talk and vent and, you know, just go through life together, at least through conversations. I think we as women need that. So if you haven't found your rose yet, I hope you do. I've had went such a long time, you know, not really having just another female outside of the family to chat with about things. And through all this, I have found that, and it really means a lot, and I really appreciate that. And I know that was certainly something that was missing for me. You know, we wanted to be able to confide and be honest and talk about our feelings without being judged. And I feel like, well, at least for me, that has been hard to come by. They got something going on up here, some activity, so if you hear a lot of noise, that is why. Also, just because of things and life and people I've went through, you know, met throughout life, it's hard for me to trust people. And that's another thing. That's a big one. You need it to be somebody you can completely. Okay, I think I accidentally hit the wrong button, so this is gonna have to be a part 2. I'm so sorry about that. Because your sis still hasn't learned how to piece videos together or anything like that. I'm not tech smart, so I just do what I can. I do my best. I'm an old soul. I don't know all the things. So, but I was saying, you definitely want your, you know, a close female friend that you can completely trust. And I hope you find that or have that already. I think it's so beautiful when people have like real, genuine, true, lifelong friends. I thought I had that before, or that I was going to, but it didn't work out that way for whatever reason. That's okay. I appreciate to have all of you to share my thoughts with. I know this can come across as super boring, but I just want peace and calmness in my life. I don't want, you know, I don't know. I'm not in like a loud partying stage, I guess. And I know that can come across as boring to just be more quiet and everything, but I'm just trying to work on myself and find what I need to be fulfilled for the rest of what time I have, you know? So, and I prefer quietness and just gentleness. Now, I would love to have fun, but I think my kind of fun is different sometimes than what others prefer. And that's okay. We're all different for different reasons. We're all who we are, and that's okay. It'd be boring if we were all the same, right? So I don't know if, a lot of you even enjoy this sort of thing, but it does bring me a fulfillment, and I enjoy it, so I just keep doing it. I know it's very different than the nail stuff, which I'm still going to do the nail stuff too, like I've mentioned, but I even thought about, do I just do a whole separate channel? But this also, I think, gives you a chance just to get to know me, or, if you're not interested, just skip over or whatever. I get real frustrated with myself for being such an extreme overthinker. Question everything that I do. Did I do this right? Did I say this okay? I think a lot of that with me is just the way I am, just my personality and everything. I don't know, I think a lot of us, most of us, want to be liked and accepted. That kind of plays through all of our lives, are at school age, and then as even into adulthood, work, or your kids are in school and all that. However, I do realize through life, other people can't necessarily make you happy. They can do things that help you to be happy, but they can't. Your happiness comes from within yourself, right? Sometimes I feel like a living dead girl. And what I mean by that is just like going through the motions of life and feeling the things, but not. It's almost more of like just being like survival mode. You know what I mean? I know that's not good. I get that. But it is what it is, and it's the truth. And that's one thing with me. I'm not a sugarcoater. I don't want to fake. This is how things are if they're not that way. This is how I feel if I don't feel that way. So, although it may be boring, maybe even negative, I am honest about my feelings, and it's my truth, my story. Sometimes I'm better than other times, but I feel like my walks, being able to talk to you, is kind of my way of working through myself and seeing how you all are as well. We have a lot of neighborhoods we could go into, but I kind of just prefer this one. I just walk down to it and go through. I'm a rambler too, as you can tell. I guess that's another thing, is because since I don't typically didn't have somebody to vent to and talk about things until more recently, then I don't know, I do it with this. So yeah, I mentioned on our trip, I mentioned with the nails I did, we didn't get to get some crawfish. I guess I know last year they didn't do well, and this year, I don't know, I guess we kind of just got there too late, because it's got to be, right at the season time, so that's okay. But we had a shrimp po' boy, which is basically a shrimp sandwich. I mentioned that too. You can get different kinds. We didn't do a whole lot with my saw some of my husband's family, and, well, we went to see my in-laws, but we saw some of the other family as well. But we didn't really do any, like, get out other than that. Just kind of visited. Now I'm also kind of disappointed because it's already going to be getting dark. So I won't have long. So if you do walk, do you go to your neighborhood, or do you go to a park? Or do you do something at home? Seems like everywhere's people have been talking about it being hot there too, so I know that makes a big difference. I also need to get my schedule better because I feel like when I'm gonna do my things, like especially my nails, it's better when my family's like, you know, doing their at work or whatever, so I can do what I need to do and concentrate, or it be quieter or whatever. So there's kind of a set time that I need to do that, because it's almost like one goes and when another's fixing to come. So it kind of makes me have to, you know, work around that, which is totally fine. But then that makes it harder to fit in what time I'm gonna walk, because again, it's so hot. It's hard to just go whenever, which I did used to. I'd go in the heat of the day, I mentioned, and then get sick. But I've been trying to not do that. Okay, I apologize. I had to pause for a minute. There was somebody there. Look at this hill, y'all. It's a big hill. Come on, little legs, work. I'm 5'1", so typically if I'm trying to keep up with somebody, I'm like, I have to go real fast. My husband, he's 6'2". So my brother teases me that we're like Lillian and Herman Munster. So funny. Yep, by the time I get back, it's going to be about dark. Also have this thing, if I can help it, I don't like walking by like the green, because I think something's going to get me. A bunch of pretty flowers though, wild flowers. Also, gotta watch for the snakes. I did see one when we were on our trip in the water. I said, no, I'm done out here. And then we mentioned one alligator from afar, but it didn't get close enough, thankfully. I wanted to get you a picture, but it was too far. So it's good and bad. And then, yeah, they said they saw a smaller one come up, but I didn't see it when I wasn't out there. Now I'm huffing and puffing. I told myself, at least if you go for the walk, you'll feel better after. But it's all that mental battle within yourself. And I have to really just force myself. I'm like, you're going to make a decision. You're either not going to, or you are going to, but you're going to have to stop wasting time trying to decide. Because like I can't make up my mind, and then I freeze. That's pretty. Look at the sky. And then I'll just sit there trying to make up my mind until it's too late. I'm like, that's enough, come on. So, we did, friends. Do you have any summer plans? Y'all know I don't, other than the same old thing, which is fine. I don't know. Maybe we'll come up with something at some point. We did that I did the camping mini recently. I wouldn't mind going glamping. I have done that before. I did like it, but it was at a state park, which is what I prefer. Just because there's typically an area to go walk around. Well, the one that I like anyway, it's a small one, so I like that because yes, it can get crowded, but only so much. And then it has the lake, so you can fish or kayak if you want. And it has like hiking trails. I don't like that too much because of the critters, mostly the snakes. But it has like a little road, you can walk on that, so I enjoy that. Like to sit out and cook out or just sit at the fire pit. That's fun to me. At least if the weather's you're not melting. If you're in the shade, of course, it's not too bad. But we haven't done that in a long time. Oh, also I like it because there's like a, I guess you'd call it the park ranger / security, like that. I just feel better about that. Other than that, I don't know. But I mentioned before, I'm such a homebody. I have to put the phone down for a minute. But I was thinking of something else taking on my minute. So, one thing, I think that was a baby snake I just passed. It's dead. Okay, I had to pause anyway, because that was loud. But, going to Louisiana, my goodness, tell you what, you need a spatula to scrape off all them bugs off the car. It's bad enough here, but it was even worse. But really, I don't know. I don't know if I could say their bugs are any worse than ours, to be honest. I also felt like it's the same humidity, but my husband says it's a bit hotter because of being around water. They have a soccer practice going on. I mean, it's a good thing I didn't go farther than I have. I'd be really out in the dark by the time I get there. Also, days I do the park walk, did y'all prefer one over the other? Which I think I've only taken y'all to that other one time, and the rest of the time we went to the watered one. Because sometimes it just depends on what I feel comfortable with. I mean, like I said, they both stay. They have kind of more, it kind of is hit and miss. They typically do have other people there, but sometimes you got to choose your times. Also, told myself, girl, when you get back, you need to get your eating habits under control as far as what I'm choosing to eat, because this is still being bad for the most part. That's hard. That's really hard, because to me, food is like brings people together and an enjoyment, that sort of a thing. So I like to eat what I want, you know what I'm saying? If I want a piece of lettuce, I need to be in the mood for my piece of lettuce. But I know, I do need to do better. But sometimes you can do things perfectly and still end up with health problems, and vice versa. You can do all the bad things and be fine. Guess it just depends on your genes and things like that. I'll tell you what, I walked by a leaf and it rattled. Oh my gosh, I scared myself out. That something was getting me. Wanted to show y'all the sun, but now it's hidden behind the building. It looked pretty. The other day it was like going down, and it was like so super big, like bigger than I've seen it before. I don't know if there was supposed to be some kind of a special moon or what, but not moon, sun. But I'd never seen it look like that I can remember. So I've been pausing off and on just to save you on watch time, and when I just think of something to say. But I was thinking too, anxiety isn't any better than depression. They both suck, basically. And there's only so much medication you can do, really comes again within yourself. The other things just sort of can help. But exercising is good for you, but again, I do still get anxious just about, example, like that being in the neighborhood versus the park is because other people's walking, I don't feel so weird. Because I've mentioned this before, when people go by you, they be looking at you, and there's just something about it. I get shy and nervous, or maybe it's like fear of being judged, or all the things. So it amps my anxiety, which is another reason I like talking. Now, I did used to listen to music, but sometimes it would get a bit boring just because, I don't know, I guess because I'd listen to most of the same things, the kind of ones that would get you going more. So over time, I'd just get bored with it. So I'm still just pausing off and on. I'm almost back to that busy road again. I got to have some fresh watermelon at my in-laws. Their neighbor, he, hold on. Sorry, it's gonna be loud off and on since we're on that road, but, okay, we'll try again. But he plants some of his own things, and he had planted the watermelon, and it was a big one, and it was cold. Now it had the seeds, but it's okay. It was sweet, it was good. Because I was curious, do those ones taste different than the store ones? Sometimes, because the store ones to me are real hit and miss. But now that I'm talking about it, I want some. Nothing like some cold watermelon. Oh, it's just something blowing across the street over there. The wind has picked up. Yeah, we're back over this way. That's where I was on that side earlier. Now I'm on the opposite side. I think my pants that I'm walking in pinched my leg. That hurt. I think that's a first. Since I'm short, I have to just let them gather at the bottom. Like they're fitted, but the bottom, like when they're so long and they get bunched up at the bottom, that's what I have to do. I was creeping myself out because I guess the wind was making stuff blow around on the ground, and I thought somebody was behind me. Okay, after having to pause for 10 minutes, but I looked and nobody was there, but I creeped myself out. Where's those cows again? And 10,000 tropics. Oh no, a dead bird. What happened to you, sir? not something I want to see. That's another reason I prefer the park. It's just too much traffic on this road. I mean, that can be good and bad, but for trying to film, it's not good. So again, maybe tomorrow Sis will get it together and we can go to the park. We had a bad storm yesterday too, and electricity went out. It was like kept going off and on, off and on, off and on. Thankfully it came back. I really hope y'all been able to hear what I've been saying because it's very loud. So I keep having to pause. So I guess I'll go ahead and end it here. And then just restart again tomorrow, hopefully. But thank you so very much for watching. I greatly appreciate it. Until the next one, have a blessed day. Bye.